IVM.
If you're someone who struggles with keeping track of the balance in multiple accounts, I have an easy solution for you. Get the Jupiter Digital Banking app. You can connect multiple accounts on Jupiter Money and view all of it in one place with their new net worth feature. They also have another fantastic feature called Debt Tracker, which helps you track all of your loans on Jupiter and also sends you reminders for loan payments. It's quite simple, a banking app that helps you master your money. Check jupiter.money to find out more or download the Jupiter app on your Android or iOS phone and get started. Folks, welcome to Paisa Vaisa. I'm your host Anupam Gupta, B50 on Twitter. Anyway, my guest today is Prabhakar Tiwari, Chief Growth Officer, Angel One. And we're going to talk about the stock market, stock trading, investing, technology, and much more right after this short break.
Namaste, this is Cyrus Brocha. I am part of the government cancel culture program to remove rubbish off all the different streams available. So what we have is all the collected rubbish we put together on our show. It's called Cyrus Says. It's on IVM podcast. You have to watch it and listen to it. It's on our app. It's on our website. It's on the YouTube channel. It's on Facebook. There are many different ways. Don't bother me and ask me how. You have to find out. We talk to different personalities. Many of them are known. Some are just people we meet downstairs and invite them up for chai. But the point is, it's fun and it's very therapeutic. So please join in and listen to Cyrus Says.
And welcome back. Prabhakar, welcome to Paisa Vaisa. Thank you so much for doing this for our listeners.
Thank you, Anupam. Thanks for calling me here.
And I see that you are a podcaster yourself because Angel One also has a lot of podcasts. Folks, head out to Angel One, check out their podcast. But Prabhakar, tell us about Angel One, one of the largest, oldest broking firms in India. And in fact, you even had an IPO in 2020. So tell us about Angel One.
Great. Thanks, Anupam, again for inviting me here. And hello to all your audience listening to this. Angel One was established as a traditional broker way back in 1996. So earlier we used to be known as Angel Broking. And over the years, the broking company has transformed itself to become a fintech company to keep pace with the changing times and technology. In the 2.5 decades of our journey, we have remained committed to providing our clients with state-of-the-art services as an innovation-driven company. Now, what has really changed for us in 2019 as we transformed into a digital player and started offering a variety of financial products, we also went into discount broking as a model. We also realized that our target audience, which is Gen Z and Millennials, they want everything at the touch of a button. So those kind of things, in terms of our change in our audience profile, the change in our pricing, the change in our business model has led to where we have reached. And that's why last year we did a rebranding exercise and changing our name from Angel Broking to Angel One. With this change, we wanted to emphasize that despite almost 3 decades of our history, we are a new organization completely. Even people who have known us for such a long time need to see us with a fresh pair of eyes. Also, we wanted to drop broking as a word because it didn't give us any advantage of or familiarity or brand equity vis-a-vis the target audience that we are going after. Just to tell you, we are a public listed company. In the last month, we kind of acquired a significant almost 500,000 customers, and now we have 9.21 million customers on our platform. So we have added more customers in last 3 years than the previous more than 2 decades of our history. So where are we today and where we want to go? A lot of things will change from here for us as an organization. And also the Gen Z and Millennials are a very demanding set of clients. Today, all thanks to the digital economy booming around us, they have choices of experiencing digital economy, be it the cab hailing services in Ola, Uber, or content on Netflix, Amazon Prime, or e-commerce experience on Amazon or Flipkart, or maybe dating experience on Tinder and Bumble. So they are experiencing that kind of UI, UX, that ease, the same experience we want to bring them in the choices they make regarding their investment, including the stock market. And that requires a lot of work on tech and product, which we have invested as an org over multiple years. And now we are seeing the benefit out of it. And our new app is just around the corner by the end of this quarter. And our existing customers and our new potential customers will see us in a very different light, post that app is in their hands and they're able to experience it. So, to cut a long story short, I think somewhere as an organization, we have proven that that longevity and heritage are not a negative. May not make you a niche player. Elephants can dance. Elephants can be agile, and so are we. And we are competing with the best of competition, which are venture funded and all. But the fact that we are able to give the same experience, if not better, and we definitely want to give better, with the trust that we behold for such a long time, I think we have an amazing runway for growth here. And we want to bring in not just the equity investment experience, but multiple other fintech experiences in the same platform. So in coming quarters, you can expect a lot more from Angel One.
Very interesting. Let's talk about these customers that you've accumulated in these last 2 to 3 years, which you said has been more than the last maybe 2 or 3 decades, right? Because that's what has been the trend in this market, that there's this massive influx of new investors who've come in. What are the trends that you've seen? You spoke about how they like UX, they like UI, they like things to be on demand. This is Gen Z, this is Millennials. So you've already spoken to us about all of that. On the investment side specifically, any trends in their behavior that you've seen, given that most of these people have only seen a major bull market so far?
See, one big thing which I have seen is unlike past, when people used to enter stock market, with a hope of becoming rich overnight, that hope has reduced in both intensity and velocity. What used to happen in past is that people will enter market with, when the market is on the rise, and they will come by the time, the market is just about to reach a high. And after that, the market will be on decline, because the volatility is the basic natural state of being for the market. That's what markets are all about. And many of these people will end up losing money over a short term. They will not have the patience to stay the course, and they will leave the market saying that, market is so volatile, it's not for me, etc., etc. What has really happened, and since 2020, thanks to COVID time, people got a lot of opportunities to kind of look at their financial and investment and saving decisions, and they could calmly kind of explore options in the market. By the time they entered the market, all the quality stocks were at their lowest price. It's like you entering a mall and seeing the best known brand which you always wanted to buy at 50% or more discount. That's what has happened in the market. People entered, bought those stocks, and they have since seen a kind of a booming market. There were downsides to the market, but unlike in past, people have got used to volatility. They have understood the only way to make money is to stay the course in stock market. You're not buying a lottery. You're not buying a carnival ticket. You're buying a piece of business. Business goes through ups and downs. And the way entrepreneurs make money and wealth over a period of time, you'll also make money and wealth over a period of time. So this navigation, ability to navigate the market, I think that's a big change with Gen Z and Millennials. Thankfully, my experience in market has also been kind of almost like 3.5 years old. And I have only seen this market. But the kind of horror stories I heard from past, and when I talk to customers, I believe today's lot, Gen Z Millennials are gifted. Their disposable incomes are high. There's some sort of support from their families. They take care of their emergency kind of funds. Also, thanks to insurances and all. They're not stretched to that degree, unlike their parents. So fundamentally, this long-term behavior is really helping us. A lot of money is coming to the equity market through mutual fund, through direct equity investment. So much so that in last couple of quarters, we have seen a lot of foreign institutional investors take out the money. Despite that, we have not seen any sharp fall in the markets, and that augurs well for future. And also, I should say that the regulatory bodies like SEBI and exchanges have done wonderful job to increase the confidence, to make things easier, to make certain fundamental changes in the regulatory, so that the volatility in the market, both in terms of bullishness or hopelessness, bearishness, is controlled within certain guardrails, and people can make wealth over a period of time without risking their capital. So these are some of the things which I really I have noticed in today's customer. There's the answer to what you just asked me. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhakar, that's very interesting. In this environment today, most large brokers offer discount brokerage and also highlight the use of technology. That's pretty much accepted now. How is Angel One different here?
See, first of all, the pricing is at parity. for most of the large brokers today. And pricing wise, customers can be rest assured, this is almost like rock bottom or something, where, going below this pricing will not help them much. Some of the brokers have tried that and they have come back to the same pricing. The fundamental question is about the customer experience and in-app journeys, how the in-app journeys are for the customer. Also, in terms of other incremental services like margin trading, research and advisory, which provide us at Angel One with an edge over our peers. And as I shared with you, we are today at a reasonable scale of 9.21 million customers, which is growing healthy, very, very healthy for us. And of course, we are able to serve that segment of the customer in a very profitable manner. So today I will say there's a basic amount of trust which is required. This is a financial decision. Unlike many other apps, where what you will lose is in the kind of, ballpark of hundreds. Here you're talking about thousands and lakhs, right? And hence your digital expertise is critical. It's a necessary condition, but it's not sufficient. Sufficient condition is in terms of domain expertise, better user experience, in-app journey should be awesome. Really understanding that, the different set of customers, segments, be it a novice customer just entering the market, or be it an investor looking for a long-term return on their investment, or be it a trader, looking for a short-term gains, or looking at engaging in the stock market as a way of their livelihood. So these three segments come with a very different mindset, and within these three segments or personas, we can create multiple millions of customized experiences, and that's what we are focused on. I would say we are not totally there. We are also in the learning phase there. We are kind of leveraging the best of data science people for that. Our new app is just around the corner, as I shared. And once that basic, plumbing foundation front end is there, customer can expect much more differentiated offering from us in future.
Very interesting. Prabhakar, before we go into a break, I read this interview where you said that India has just over 6% equity penetration, which is lower than China and the US. You think this has room to grow? What do you think?
I'll be surprised if it doesn't grow. I'm betting my career. Amazing investors are betting their capital on for us to grow. See, let's ask the questions. Why would a China or a US would have higher penetration than us? Now, if you get to answer that question, you'll realize that the basic fundamentals are that the domestic businesses should be on the growth path. And we talk about domestic business should be on the growth path because, maybe the entire globe is their customer, okay? Or maybe consumption story in their local market is still intact. Now, the advantage with India right now is, and for this, you don't need me to make a statement. You can see around, you go down the road and look at the malls, look at the entertainment, and everything like post-COVID also and pre-COVID also. We have an amazing consuming class, which has got the confidence, which has got the money to invest, right? And there are amazing entrepreneurs which are building businesses for such customers, right? And once they get listed, and there's a lot of checks and balances, as they get listed. By buying their shares, you're taking part in that growth story for the country, right? So, and I don't want to play number games on you, but just to tell you that, maybe 18-20% in China, or maybe 30-35% in US. So these are the upside. And also more than the percentage, look at our population. This is amazing population. And look at what has been the story which has remained intact for last 3 years. These people are coming from tier 2, tier 3, tier 4. And it's not a surprise. It's not a surprise because those were underserved customers. Even the best of the banks, they don't have branches in many of these towns, tier 3, tier 4 cities. Thanks to the financial highways, digital highways, geofication, low-cost smartphones, thanks to the e-sign, e-KYC, Aadhaar e-sign, pushed by Government of India as a part of Digital India Initiative, that's really helping us. People can now open their Demat account with a click of a button, theoretically. So these things are really helping. And also, as I said, underserved customer, which is a new generation, they have additional source of income, not just kind of focused on agrarian economy. And they just don't want to buy another piece of land, another gold jewelry, or, another, some people buy like cows and buffaloes also as an investment, in those part of the world or those part of our country. So fundamentally, it's a matter of access. It's a matter of ease of access. It's a matter of trust. all three combined, that's really helping us. So fundamentally, both on the demand side and supply side, the good companies, are the good companies listed in our country? The answer is yes. Now, many of the new sectors which are emerging, which are there in China and America, are also getting listed in India. There will be short-term, headwinds. That all of us are aware of, but those will get sorted out. Let's talk about Infosys and TCS. Last 2 decades, investors who kind of put their trust on those organizations, they are reaping the benefit, and these companies are not going slow. Even now, they're just growing like crazy. Let's imagine that even if like 10 or 20 such companies get listed, the entire story will change. But here, thankfully, in multiple sectors, we are getting multiple new companies to list. So both on the demand side, which is the customer, what is available for them to invest their money and to grow their money, and also on the supply side, which is the good company getting listed in India itself. I think we have the equation almost right. And unless something untoward happen, and that too will impact us only in short term, I see a growing trend here.
Fantastic. So folks, on that note, we're going to take a small break. When we come back, we're going to talk about technology, how it affects trading, technology, how it affects investing, and much more. My guest, Prabhakar Tiwari, Chief Growth Officer, Angel One. We'll be right back.
Ladies, I'm sure you will relate to it if I say that we are constantly busy with work, studies, cooking, and what not. And amidst all of this, we often forget an important element that needs our desperate attention: finance. So here we are, bringing to you SBI Life presents A Sip of Finance, a women-exclusive podcast where we will teach you how to manage personal finances in a simple and straightforward way with your host, Priyanka Acharya, a finance expert who's been in the industry for 14 plus years. And not just in English, but in 7 more languages. So tune in every Tuesday for fresh episodes on the IBM Podcast Network and all major podcast streaming platforms.
And welcome back. Okay, Prabhakar, I believe that you have a tie-up with Smallcase also. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, Smallcases are portfolios of stocks, ETFs that are created and managed by India's top SEBI registered advisors and research professionals. We integrated Smallcase offerings into a platform in 2021 to empower our clients in building a long-term equity portfolio with superior transparency and professionally managed stock baskets. Now, Angel One users can purchase curated baskets of stocks based on an objective, theme, or strategy such as smart beta, thematic, and sectoral all-weather investing. Now, fundamentally, if I ask you in terms of how should you kind of understand this Smallcase, it's just like, look at you talking with your friend about, what do you think about future investment and what kind of trends you see in the economy or politics or geopolitical situation, which can help or hinder certain sectors, right? If GST coming in, if the economy is going more formal from being informal, from being more organized, from being unorganized, or to the extent of saying disorganized, which sectors, which companies will get the benefit out of it? If you just want to keep it at a discussion level, of course you'll not make money out of it, even if your predictions are right. If you want to kind of act on your predictions, you have to do a lot of research like an analyst, find out those stocks, figure out what amount you're willing to invest behind those stocks. Some of them will do well, some of them will not do well. With a setup like Smallcase, you can actually look at your predictions, similarity of your prediction, look at the investment philosophy of certain SEBI registered advisors and other players, and you can actually invest behind those predictions. Where fundamentally something is kind of clicking for you at a ticket size, which is very, very affordable. So this is where the benefit happens, through Smallcases kind of innovative business models. Also understand that a lot of end-to-end transactions can be managed in app. With our tie-ups with Smallcase, with your existing trading and demat account. And such integration came with the need of the hour to maximize investor returns with as much as use of technology as possible. So, just to cut a long story short, Angel One has expertise in areas, and Smallcase as a company has a certain expertise in certain areas. How can we bring it together? How can we make a seamless experience for our customers? So without leaving our platform, they can actually go behind, such interesting investing stories. That's what we're working on. Yeah.
Okay, Prabhakar, let's now look at both trading and investment, because for a brokerage, for a company like you would be having clients on both sides, right? Because the brokerage offers a trading platform and of course it offers investment as well. Tell our listeners, how is technology changing first trading and then investment? So let's start with trading, because trading is a difficult activity. Very few traders in India actually land up making any serious money, but still the community is fairly large. In your view, whatever you've seen, how has this changed? How is technology changing it, probably for the better?
Yeah. See, technology has been being used in trading for a very, very long time. So there were a superior set of investors, who have access to such tools, who are willing to invest behind those tools, and they were playing in the market, leveraging those tools. Now, question is, were those tools available to average retail investor or trader, for that matter, right? Now, that is what has changed in last few years, and this is all thanks to technology. I mean, because now you don't have to buy expensive hardware or software for that, and also there were pricing models available based on subscription, which brings the power of technology to the retail trader at a much affordable price. And also in our own platform, we have been kind of giving some of these tools in terms of charting, and we have a tie-up with Sensible, Streaks, so multiple such setups, we have tie-ups. So this is where the game has changed, because what is market? Market fundamentally, if you look at it, somebody can also model it in the form of a mathematical equation, or they call it about algorithms. They talk about backtesting data. They talk about predicting how it will look like basis the patterns which are emerging. Multiple candlesticks and multiple other things are there. I am also no expert in that, but experts will tell you that such things are there. And with as a retail trader, if you have the benefit of this along with your gut feel, and we also have some lady luck smiling on us, so it can definitely help you a lot. So this is how technology has changed. We have a smart API as a platform. We have a smart store as a platform, where we also help these algo traders, to kind of plug into our system, our platform. Also, as a company, we want to develop open architecture platforms where all kind of technology innovations can be plugged into, and people can actually trade basis their algorithms, basis their frameworks, models. So we are kind of very efficient in transaction processing. We are very, very efficient in terms of taking care of all related tasks around investing in the market, or kind of taking out your money or trading. And we want to provide that at a much superior scale. So that's how technology has changed for everyone. And now it's a more democratized. Can it be democratized further? Yes, of course, it can be democratized further. And we as a company are committed behind it, because we want to, I mean, if you ask me what is our positioning, what is it that we're building towards with all our tech, product, content, educational, marketing effort, is bringing the power of data and technology for everyday investor. And when I say everyday investor, I mean novice, trader, and investor, all of them combined.
Yeah, very interesting, Prabhakar. So let's talk about investment, right? Because trading is a different ballgame, and we know that fintech startups have disrupted the investment space a lot, especially for Gen Z and millennial, like you had said. So what are your views about how technology has changed investment, either as a process or the way that people look at it now?
Yeah. So if you look at investment, investment is, being there with a long-term perspective. And when you talk about long-term perspective, you do not just need to have a view on the fundamentals of an organization. You also need to have a fundamentals of the valuation. Okay. And valuation is something, which is area of an expert. Even Warren Buffett and Peter Lynch may not agree for a valuation of a company. Forget about us. I mean, a lot of monies change hand, where one P or VC firm enter and one firm exit. And this is the beauty of investment, right? I mean, it takes into account a lot of superior calculation knowledge, plus also about, how things, kind of get executed in future, right? So, so for investor also, a lot more information is required, to make a judgment call. And they also need to know the basics, because many of these investors are first time in the market, right? I mean, the amount of demat accounts getting opened on a monthly basis were not even opening for entire year, like just 2-3 years back. So you are dealing with novice more than you're dealing with an investor, who will eventually become an investor someday, but they are novice at the moment, right? And that's where we have initiatives like Smart Money, which is our one platform where people can come and learn about the market, and they can choose whether they consider themselves novice, investor, or trader, and can learn reading articles, listening to podcasts, looking at videos, looking at infographics. So multiple such snackable, easily digestible content are being given to them. So that's one effort we have in a big way. Also for options trading, like you talked about investment, but some people kind of go for trading bit also. We have recently launched Insta Trade feature on our Angel One mobile trading platform. So both experienced and novice traders can leverage it. And I talked about sensible kind of tie-up for you where options trading can further be helped. We also have something very, very extraordinary. And I just want to super emphasize it because this is what I firmly believe in, and not just me. Even the founder of our org and all of us in the management believe in is our product ARQ Prime. ARQ Prime is amazing rule-based investment engine, and it takes into account multiple signals, in a time-tested and proven rules basis. And this can really give you, kind of certain, depending on your ticket size, depending on how many stocks you want to invest, or even mutual fund, it can tell you what are the right stocks to track. And it is non-emotional. It's not a fund manager, who needs to defend his decisions. It can change its mind. It can rebalance, exit the stocks which are not giving the right signals. So this is the power of, platforms like ARQ Prime, which is again leveraging technology for helping investors, as you asked me. And also in terms of investing, we call something called smart beta products. And also looking at, scanning all types of stocks to pick winners, whether it is a value stock, quality stock, high momentum stock, or growth stocks across the market cap, be it mid cap, small cap, or large cap. So coming back to the core of the question you asked, these technologies can really empower investor. They can actually check the fundamentals of a sector. They can look at ARQ Prime kind of platform and then take a call. So, and also like when you do a long-term investing, sometimes the horizon can be small, but mostly it's 3, 5 years or 10 years. That's the horizon one should play in to really, really win it big in the market. Very, very simple thing. But almost 90% of investors are kind of guilty of not following this simple rule, right?
Yeah.
So, if you are willing to check your emotions and fundamentally what happens when you backtest and when you look at data, you forget that we are talking about war situations. We are talking about crumbling economy. We are talking about job losses. We are talking about the salary reduction. We are talking about some big personal event. And all these things, make us lose our mind and take certain calls, which looks great in short term, but eventually, eroding our capital or not helping compounding. And compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. So one line thing to this is that, as an investor, please use these tools to double check on your decisions and don't exit the market in a hub, and don't enter the market with starry eyes. So look at these data points, leverage this technology, and then take certain calls and stick by them for a long period.
That's in fact some good advice, not to enter the market with starry eyes. And finally, Prabhakar, for our listeners out there who've not opened a brokerage account, who are looking to open a brokerage account and would probably need some help on that, what would be your checklist to them? Like when they open a new brokerage account, these are the 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 things that they should look out for. What's your checklist for them?
See, first of all, you should first decide basis the trust labels, in terms of which are the leading players in the market. That basic level trust is very, very critical. And, what kind of history they have in terms of customer service, what kind of prospects they have, have they been around? Do they have the wherewithal to be around? This is a very, very theoretical check. But immediately after that, you should download their app. Many of these apps can be installed, free of cost, and they allow you to kind of, browse the app. You should look at seamless user experience. Now, are you getting that experience? Are you getting the feedback about seamless user experience from the friends who have already opened account with certain broker that you are considering? And also understand that, eventually it's a matter of being a reliable, scalable, predictable platform, and that too, which allows personalization. Now, all broker app, everything is about uptime, because market timing is very, very sensitive. You need to take certain calls in the nick of a time, right? So do you consider that your broker has the app which is reliable, scalable, predictable? And is it really understanding your investment behavior? Is it nudging you at the right time? Is it asking you to reconsider your decisions, where data is not supporting what you're doing? So have these considerations, talk to people, and check it out for yourself before you kind of commit bigger investment behind those apps and those brokers. And also fundamentally, the game we want to bring in town is bringing variety of fintech experience in a single app. There's no point having multiple apps where you are sharing very sensitive information, where you don't have a view of your portfolio, where you cannot really go out and try out newer things. So that's not right. Look for those brokers, those fintech brokers who you see committed over a long term to bring in variety of fintech experiences, who have a track record of delivering on what they promise and what they kind of where they show their intent is. And I would say that consider Angel One also, because this is where we are in the journey, and we kind of are committed to bring multiple fintech experience in a seamless manner on our app. So the new app is just coming within the end of quarter. Right now, if you want to test it, the testing test app is also available. If not, please write to us. We will give you the test link, and then decide.
Very interesting, folks. So if you're interested in testing the Angel One app, reach out to them and take the app for a test ride. That sounds good, Prabhakar?
Yeah.
And that's a wrap on this episode of Paisa Vaisa. My guest, Prabhakar Tiwari, Chief Growth Officer at Angel One. Prabhakar, thank you so much for doing this for our listeners.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Anupam, for calling me. It was an awesome set of questions that got me thinking, and I hope my answers will be useful for the audience here. So thanks again for calling me. Thank you.
I'm sure they're useful. Thank you, Prabhakar. And folks, thank you for listening to this episode of Paisa Vaisa. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media. We are IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. And if you want to reach out to me, well, I'm your host, Anupam Gupta, B50 on Twitter. And thank you so much, folks. Thank you so much for listening to Paisa Vaisa.
No material on the show should be considered as financial advice. The material on the show is for informational purposes only. Please consult a financial advisor before taking any investment decision.
Hello, everybody. It's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Cyrus Says His Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Naveen, Vagda, and Antariksh talk about the American mother who was arrested because her kid took marijuana-laced gummies to school. Vagda is a co-host for our show Press Decode, so if you haven't been checking that out, check her out on that show as well as this one. The Simplified Gang explore Mumbai through Naren stories and observations. On All Things Policies, the Takshashila folk discuss the U.S. Supreme Court's potential decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. On the Life Manifesto, Zarina introduces us to Don Miguel Ruiz's 4 Agreements of Life. And on Hansavani, hear the story Nai Idgah. It explores the role of media amidst a state of religious animosity in our country. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we've been doing a series of profiles of people within the office, so do check that out for sure. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We have a page on our website, ivmpodcast.com/YouTube, with a list of all our channels. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you, the listener, responds to the advertising on our network. And also, we just want to know a little bit more about you. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it out. It will really help us build some better shows for you. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, SBI Life Insurance and Jupiter, a digital banking app. There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we'll send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the